Good morning. Congratulations. Nice win yesterday.
Thanks. Yeah, good to see you guys.
Nice to see you as well after the bye week and all that. What was different yesterday?
What was different? Oh, man. I mean, it's hard to – I think we played more of a complimentary game, but it's hard to say, like, hey, we just, totally shifted. I think you look at, like, all the things we've been talking about, like, refining what we're doing, kind of attacking all – like, we're talking about chasing edges, continual improvement on how we handle our business Monday through Saturday, and then the approach on Sunday. I thought we managed the game well throughout for the most part, and put ourselves in a position to win at the end. But then you go back and you watch the tape, and you said, hey, we had opportunities to take leads or hold leads, and those are the things that we're going to be chasing moving forward. But I think you're just like continual improvement is what we're looking for right now. So I thought that's what we saw.
Bunch of game balls yesterday, and by the way, you've got just tremendous technique, spinning them, confidence, delivering those suckers. Do the Navy SEALs get any game ball yesterday? You going to send a game ball to the Navy SEALs who came into town during the bye week?
Yeah, we probably should. We probably should send them each one. Everybody gets them. That'd be more game balls than we gave out. It was 5 game balls. That was a lot, but
you used the term "clean your room." We used that in the presser yesterday. Is that a Navy SEALsism?
Cleaning or clearing rooms.
Yeah,
clearing your room. Sorry, not cleaning. Cleaning and clearing.
The next room.
Is that a Navy SEALs?
Your kids. That's different.
Yeah. Clearing the room. Is that a Navy SEALsism?
May or may not be. Yeah.
I like it. How big a deal was that last? We had Jay Glazer come on Veterans Day, which was awesome. Kurt Menefee came on as well. They had obviously been down with the SEALs in San Diego for their Sunday before Veterans Day. But I think it was Jay that hit on that you did bring those guys in and have. And I know that's not new. You've leaned into that in the past, but that play a little bit of a role, or can you kind of talk through some of that with us?
Well, I mean, it was just a great opportunity. I mean, it's just such a cool. I mean, how many times you get an opportunity to hang out with those type of people and learn from them and kind of share each other's worlds. So that was awesome, and our guys were great. I was really proud. Just like we had awesome questions and they were locked in, and I really felt like we grew as a team. I'm not saying it's some like critical turning point in our whatever, but it was I would say it was a significant experience, and it gives us some like we speak our language here, but now like you can put some context behind it and draw some parallels and connect some things on some concepts, some ideas about just kind of how we want to operate with our mentality. And I mean, it was awesome. It was awesome. There's no.
I don't want to spend all morning on this, but just because you saying it kind of piqued my curiosity. What kind of questions did the guys have for the SEALs?
Well, I think Jay hit it in his thing on Fox, but we at that point in time we were you go in with game plans and you have plans, and as a football team you want to win every game, and now you're hitting adversity. So what's the mentality? What's the talk like? What's the spirit? What's the thought going into the whole thing on? Hey, we thought it was going to go this way, but it didn't. And now you're talking about with these guys, if it doesn't go, there's no second chances in their world. So. How do you ensure victory and win the fight, so to speak, when inevitably something's not going to go the way that you want it to go?
Talking to Coach Macdonald after a nice win yesterday, defense sure looked like it played well. I know you've talked a lot about communication. How was the communication for the defense yesterday?
I thought they did a great job. We had there's a couple. It's funny you guys ask these questions, and it's like I want to be like, yeah, it was freaking awesome, but
but then you watch the film.
Then I'm like, well, there's 2 play. You think of the 2 or the 3 that like you leave out there. But as a whole, I mean, look, San Francisco, they do a great job with changing the positions, changing the counts, the movements, the shit. I mean, they do all the things. So you gotta be on your details, and it speaks to the guys' prep and like the scout team and our coaches just hammering down the details. So it's just like you can play with anticipation. So when things move, your eyes are right. Everybody's on the same page about what we're playing and how we're getting out of different calls. So
who's responsible for that in a game like this? Who's most responsible for that communication?
Safeties and linebackers for the most part. Yeah, safeties and linebackers.
And are you allowed to? I mean, the green dot on defense, does that work the same way as it does on offense, where you can be in their ears up to a certain...
Yeah, it clicks off at 15 seconds.
And do you spend a lot of time communicating during that time with them?
I don't know. Like I don't know how many other, I don't know what other coordinators do, but I like talking to the guys.
And that's is that Ernest? Was he the green dot yesterday?
He's probably tired of hearing about it. I'm always telling him to tell somebody else.
Oh, interesting.
Like in the huddle, like, hey, whatever. He's looking at me like, huh?
And then that goes all the way through to they're lined up, they're getting ready to go. You got 15 seconds left, and you're still in their ear saying, tell so and so to move over a gap or whatever it may be.
It's a little different. Like sometimes the play, it's just like the cadence is a little bit different. It just varies.
Uh-huh.
So there's sometimes where they're out of the huddle at outside of 15 or inside of 15 seconds, you can't say anything. And then there's somewhere like out of a TV timeout or a stoppage or whatever, when it starts at 40, then you might have an extra couple things if you want to get it to them. But
Coach, I think you'll learn something about this market is the fans here love to get to know their players. And, and that's not unique in a lot of other markets, but there's like a great attachment. You saw that back in the day with all the Legion of Boom guys and all their personalities.
Yeah.
And I think this fan base just starting to get to know Ernest Jones a little bit. And obviously yesterday, 13 tackles, some awesome stopping power. Behind the scenes, who is he?
Man, I think we're still getting to know him too. But I mean, he's like Cool Hand Luke, man. He's just like super, like he's just steady, poised, loves ball. He's just like we love guys that love football because we're going to do a lot of it, and if you love it, then like the process will kind of. We believe that if we do it right, we'll take care of itself, and you kind of grow throughout doing it. If you kind of resist the process and like football is not fun to you, and you're kind of like you like what football does for you, but you don't like doing football. This isn't a great program for you because we do a lot of it and we're constantly talking it all the time. And so he's one of those guys that loves ball and kind of wants to know the nuances and it's the game's slow for him. And then obviously we've seen what he's been able to do on the field and I think like this is hopefully just the beginning of it because there are some details that we're chasing on that he's just going to get a feel for like how we play certain plays might be a little different than how he's played it. And that'll just come with some more reps. But, yeah, he's a heck of a guy. We love him.
I'm going to guess Spoon falls into that category as well.
Spoon definitely falls into that category.
I mean, he gets the game ball yesterday. But I mean, just every time you talk about him, I can just your demeanor almost changes. There's just something about him, huh?
Yeah, I mean, talk about just I'm on record with this, but just guys that have that type of spirit and enthusiasm and competitiveness. And that love the game and it makes sense to them and they can do the things that you can kind of layer and start to really have some have some stuff that you can give to offenses and he's just we get a lot of guys like that. But Spoon, everybody loves talking about him and rightfully so, and he deserves people to talk about him.
Were you in Baltimore with Earl at all?
Yeah, that was 2019.
And Earl. Unique character in his own right, but is there some similarity? Brock and I were talking about a little bit earlier today. Is there some similarity there with not just the speed, but just that love and sort of the way they affect their teammates?
Yeah, well, those guys talk about two totally different personalities. Earl was like a savant. He just is. He was going into a completely new scheme that he hadn't played. But we were trying to do what he does so well and kind of put it into what we were doing. And, but he was playing the post from 8 yards. I mean, he was doing some crazy things, but we never got the ball thrown over our heads. It was some of the stuff that he was able to pull off was pretty cool. But, the common denominator there, love of the game, love playing football. When the lights came on, that 29, he was bringing it. Guy played incredible. He played with his hair on fire.
How did the tape look this morning, Mike, with a couple of these guys that they got a lot more run than they've gotten all season long? Let's start with the guy next to Ernest. Let's talk about the rookie Tyrice Knight. How did that go for him?
I thought he played well. A good start. Hey, you're a rook, man. We're not going to tell you how sweet you are.
How about Abe
keep doing your thing?
How about Abe and
You had to hold before just on him. You had to have a lot of faith in him, right? I mean, you guys made a pretty
we do. Of course,
big
we have a
move
lot of
at
faith in him.
linebacker. You had to have some real faith that he was going to come in and do that as a rookie.
That's a fair question. But I'd also say we have even higher expectations. So like, hey, good start, great job, we won the game. Let's do it again. Keep building.
They had a cool shot, Mike, on the TV of the first offensive drive, and Abe Lucas like shot on that field like he did at Archbishop Murphy back in the day in high school. Like he was ready and raring to go. How did he come out of it, and how did he play?
I thought Abe did a great. I mean, for considering all the things, I mean, I thought he played a really, really good game. Definitely something to build off of, and he should be proud of. Got tired a couple times, just getting back into football shape. I think that'll happen naturally. But just, I mean, shoot, the guy, I'm happy to see him out there. I mean, just for so many reasons, right? Just all the things he's gone through. Hopefully we can, stabilize the 5 guys that'll be out there now. Be great to have some continuity from week to week. And then just to see him go play effective football for us and help us win the game was great.
And the guy right in the middle of all of it, who you said after the game kind of got that call during the week that he's going to be starting as Olu. Next level ESPN guys had him 27 for 27 in pass protection snaps yesterday. What did the game tape show with the guy right in the middle of all the action?
Yeah, I think those stats are somewhat. I mean, for the most part, accurate in the pass game. We got to share up some of the stuff in the protections that we're doing, and that starts at center, and it starts as systematically as a coaching staff, and then it kind of trickles to the execution. So we got to look at that. But just like we said yesterday, talking about a guy that stayed ready since we had Connor come in and play center, and Olu stayed ready, started learning both guard positions and center, and was just a guy that was ready to go. And so when the opportunity came, he was prepared, and that's how you take advantage of those opportunities.
Talking about Abe some more and what he brings, the story is awesome, and just getting to see him, a guy everybody likes, back out there and playing again. From a football perspective, how does he make you better?
Well, I think the first thing is just the guy's tough as nails, he's super physical, plays the way that we want to play up front, finishes plays in a dominant position. That's the first thing. Not that our other guys haven't done that, but that's a kind of Abe's calling card. And so, if you keep getting guys out there playing that way, then that's gonna reflect the style that we want to play consistently. And he's just such a big and physical, imposing presence out there as well. Where I think with him and Charles, and when they're playing their best football, that's a pretty formidable combo.
Mike, do you feel like that with continuity, if continuity can come there with those 5 guys, it may be a little more run game identity? Because I'm kind of watching thinking, man, is this a gap team? Is this an outside zone team? Is this
Yep.
And I think Ryan and Scott are, doing a great job trying to figure all that out as well. And you're number one here with moving personnel. But do you feel like continuity may help define what you want to be in the run game?
I think that's definitely a part of it. That's definitely a part of it. But it's right now it's this big equation, and that's a part of the equation. But yeah. That'd be just any like you've seen that in our secondary. You'll see that up front at offensive line. You start playing next to the same guys all the time. There's chemistry that goes with that. I think like a little more congruent in the run schemes that we're doing, and how we're playing all the double teams and getting to the next level and understanding how guys fit stuff and how we handle movement. Like all those things will. Should at least get cleaner as you have that continuity from week to week.
Geno Smith with 2 minutes left. Is he about as good as anybody in the league?
Numbers say so. Tape says so. So I say so.
What is it in those moments that he does so well?
Man, that's a great question. I've never felt when he's had the ball in the situation's too big. He's very, very poised. I mean, it's on record about how great of a competitor he is. So I think you kind of put those two things together, and he makes really clean decisions at the end of the game and understands how to manage the clock. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. His accuracy, and then his legs coming alive. really helped us in the later part of that drive.
Do you talk to him in those moments? Does he change? Do you see a physical change or feel a change in his energy in those moments? Or maybe the opposite, where it's that he doesn't change and that's what's so impressive?
Yeah, I'd say he doesn't change, but it's not like I'm giving him a dissertation before he goes and takes a 2-minute drive. I mean, we're coming right off a defensive play, so there's some stuff going on there, but yeah, you just hit him with a couple things, but I didn't say anything to him yesterday. I mean, he knows, but like you can just tell by his body language, he's in it.
You know who changes though, Mike? The broadcasters change, right? Okay. You guys stay pretty even, but the broadcasters, they can get a little hype, they can get a little loud, they can clap in the booth. You want to hear Geno's touchdown run through the optics of Steve Rabel and Dave Lyman up in that
that's
booth.
great.
Yeah,
man, I love Steve's call.
This is pretty good.
Geno gets him back to the line of scrimmage, 22-21, gets the snap, looks, steps up, gonna run, 10, 5, Geno, touchdown, Seahawks, holy catfish, Geno Smith runs left side, can't find anybody open from 13 out, 12 seconds left, and the Seahawks take the lead, 19-17. Are you kidding me? No quit in this bunch.
That's awesome. Great job, Steve. As usual, as expected.
Yeah. And Dave Lyman jumping in as well. When he took off and ran, did you know? Did you have to look at the clock? What was going through your mind the minute he took off and ran?
Well, yeah, I mean, going into that play, we would have had to clock it and it would have been pretty tight. We probably would have had maybe a play or two left if the clock was running. So that was the first thought. And then I forgot about that immediately once he crossed the line of scrimmage, and I kind of looked. It seemed like he had a pathway to the end zone. So, and then I'm like, okay, there's 12 seconds. What are we doing on defense? Where are we kicking the ball? I think it's hard for me to get too excited in that moment, but it was pretty cool.
Is there an amount of time left at which you don't still worry?
Yeah, 0 seconds.
0 seconds. That's it, right? Like until it's at 0 seconds, you're still
even
seeing the worst possible outcome.
I think they call OPI on the last play. And I'm like, son of a, there's a penalty. Like,
what if that's on us?
Yeah, there's one more. I'm thinking, okay, one more play, 15 yards. Is it Hail Mary? And then they signaled it to the offense, and then that's when it was over.
As you've kind of gone through this here for the last 11 weeks or whatever it is now, how much does winning and losing? How even are you able to stay in the building versus having your mood affected by wins and losses, et cetera?
I mean, you might probably have to ask like Dave on that or somebody else around here. I mean, I try to stay consistent. Because look, it's the same conversations we had at the beginning of the season. We started 3-0. We knew, hey, it's great to be 3-0, but we're not there yet, and then. You have the 3-game losing streak. Then you go back to Atlanta and felt like we played pretty good, but now we gotta go do it again. And then we fell short another couple times. So it's like we have to stay consistent as a football team in our approach, our mentality. I think our guys have learned. That we're learning that. I think we've come a long way in that regard. So we got a big week coming up. It's. I think people will say I'm pretty consistent, but just. Hey, let's point out what we're going to improve on. Let's hammer away at it, attack it, and let's grow, because we got a great opportunity now. I think for at least to share a first place after this week. So, everything we want to do is in front of us. We got to go make it happen, though. Pretty cool.
Hey, last thing real quickly here. Outside of D, did he come out of yesterday fairly healthy, Mike? Did Abe come out of that game okay?
To my knowledge, yeah. I'm sure he's sore as heck, but and then Vis didn't finish the game, so we're trying to Laviska. So we got to figure out what's going on there. But yeah, those two guys right now are the ones that I know about.
Cool. Well, Coach, congrats. Nice win on the road in the division against a rival. Another division game coming up next week. We'll look forward to it.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right. There you go. There's Coach Macdonald.